If you've got a garage and you don't put your car in the garage like most people in the UK, I strongly advise you get some garage storage or shelving units in your garage before you even need them, because as you can see behind me, stuff just suddenly starts to pile up, and before you know it, you've got an absolute state. Now, I've spent the best part of today clearing out the garage in order to make enough space to put the shelves in. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to build the shelves, ignoring all of the clutter and all of that side of things. You don't need to worry about that. Yo, how you doing? Marlon King here, and today I'm going to be talking about my garage. I've already made a video about me installing the garage door. Well, it wasn't me, I got some builders in to do it. However, in this episode I'm going to be talking about how to do garage storage, and I've watched lots of videos about, you know, timber structures and how to do it, and I thought the best way to do it would be to buy something pre-made. However, as with everything, it's not pre-built, you have to make it yourself. Comes like this in a box, and this is what it should look like. Let's twist it around. So that's the plan. However, these things can be a little bit tricky to make. I'm going to show you what one looks like, because I've just finished the first one. Let's go through and have a look in the garage. Now, this is what happens when you have to empty your garage to try and fit things in. I literally couldn't move random pieces of wood. And here is something that I've already made, or one of them, which is quite nice. Nice to see that in place, and quite a lot of shelf space. So this is 90 centimeters wide, 45 centimeters deep, and 1.8 meters in height, with 5 shelves. Now obviously I can't use this one. I put it quite close to the garage door, and it leaves about 1 centimeter clearance, so a little bit tricky. And this is looking a little bit better. My plan here is to put 2 more shelves along here. Previously this whole space was just completely cluttered, so I've already made one here as well, and that seems to work neatly. I'll show you a quick before in a second, and you'll see what an absolute state this place was. Right, let's start by going through all of the bits and what they're used for. First, we've got 5 nice thick chipboards. Yeah, quite happy with the quality of them. You've got 8 of these parts here with all the holes, which are going to be obviously the main stand points, and you have to build it in 2 halves. So I've laid out the first 4, and I've got another 4 here. You've got these, which are the joiners. I'll show you that in a minute. You've got these, which are the middle braces. So each of the shelves, where they're 1 meter long, those go in the middle to help support the weight. You should have 10 sides and 10 full length pieces. And then these here are actually feet for the shelves. I've seen some people putting them on the top, not sure why, but these are feet. So one crucial thing, you're going to need rubber mallet and a screwdriver, non-Phillips. This is quite easy to do when you get going, but it's really just getting the first few in place, especially if you're working by yourself. You'll notice this top one, let me just get closer. You know which way it is because there should be like a little hole here, and that is always goes at the top because that's meant to screw onto the wall if you need to. Alright, you should be able to tell what the bottom is by the slight difference here, 2 going up, 1 going down. And pretty much the whole thing is built by just clicking these things in. There's a little bit of a knack to it, but once you get used to it, it's quite straightforward. So make sure both the top and bottom are in, and then just give a very slight push down. It should kind of almost hold the place, and then very quickly get the mallet. The first one's most tricky, unless you've got someone to help hold it. And as you can see, that has now gone in. Now I don't knock it fully in because the next one's even more tricky. I have to kind of balance this one on my head a little bit whilst, if only you could see the body shot, right? But again, the same thing, click that in, give it a little bit of a push, hold that tension, and then I just need to try and move my hand along without losing that tension. That's not going in. Let's realign it a bit. Come on, come on. There we go, it's in, yes. Let me just, right. That's one done. And so that is largely what we have to do all the way through. As I said, this very first one's normally the most tricky, and I'd always try and count out the shelves. That try and follow the pattern on the box, really, that's the best bet. Because you can't do this top one, you need to leave this top piece free for the join. So that your next one's actually going to be in here. You don't want, these are quite bendy, so you don't want them to bend too much, otherwise you'll lose the integrity. Alright, getting the drift. So first step, if you've been following this right, you should have two pieces like this, and you should make sure that they are identical. Okay? And the next tricky part is to actually do the first side piece, or full length part. And I've been a little bit distracted because it looks like I've got new neighbours. They're just taking photos outside of the front of the house. Yeah, there we go. Right, just for a laugh, you can watch me do this first one because it's a bit tricky. Actually, before I do it, let's get the feet on, so that'll make them stand up a little bit easier, otherwise it's a juggling act. Very multicultural estate that I live on. I'm probably the only English person on this side for a few doors, and yeah, it's quite nice actually, seeing different cultures and all living on the same estate. Right, how we do this? Actually, just start with one, right? Get that locked in. And once you've got this first one in, it should be pretty straightforward to do the others, he says. One tip I will say is, when you're doing these length pieces, make sure the piece is already inside. The first one's not so bad, but as you get further up and the frame starts to become more rigid, if you've smashed one side in and then realise it's on the outside, you're going to have to knock it back out, which is still quite easy but can be annoying. You'll notice that about 90% of them will go in straight away, and there's just one or two that are a real pain. Sometimes you have to get the screwdriver and pull out the flaps that are locking the pieces in, just to make your life easier. Right, so first half is almost complete. Next step is we're going to need these, and the best thing to do with these to start is bend them in just past 90. I don't know if you can see, yeah, just past 90 degrees. I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. I'm going to try and show you how to do this whilst holding the camera, but essentially get the whole thing aligned on both sides, ride it in. And then there's a little flap in the middle. You need to make sure that goes through the other side as well so you can see it. And then the same on the other side. Here. So by bending that makes your life easier. Then the next step is get that screwdriver that I said you needed. And make sure it's fully in. I'm just going to, I don't know if you can see, I'm probably blocking it, but you're going to put that underneath, bend it back a little bit, and then if your fingers are strong enough, pull that right in, okay? And it should look like that. So make sure you do that on both sides, bend it round so it's not the support brace isn't going to fall out. Now I would suggest not doing it on the middle shelf or this top one just yet, and the reason for why is this middle one is actually not wide enough to get the board in, so you actually have to drop it down from the top and put the board in, and then with that obviously you've got the brace there first, and drop the next board in and put the brace on, put the next board in, and then likewise. I made the mistake the first time around and I had to take it back off, but of course I'm building this in the comfort of my living room because it's a little bit chilly outside, and then I'm going to carry it through, so I'm actually going to put the boards on in the garage. Oh, and plot twist, the new neighbours might be pregnant. Lockdown baby, perhaps. I've built pretty much as I can for this first half. What I'd recommend doing before you put the wood on is just go through, knock each of the joints. Not only does it wind up everyone else in the house, but it also makes sure that it's in place and it's not going to fall out. And then you're going to need these joints. So these are all individual, so just wriggle them around, separate them out. Now you might see here, you know, different models may vary, but you can buy, like this whole kit you can buy on Amazon. I bought this from Screwfix, sorry, but you can get it anywhere. So this piece here, there's two here, that's going to go on the bottom part, and then you're going to leave this hole and the top one there to join the top part, which I'll be doing in the garage. If you align one side first, and then you kind of have to push it in, and it should make a little bit of a ching noise. There you go. So that's kind of locked in. Just make sure everything lines up, and then there we go. So that's almost good to go. Just be careful with your mallet because there seems to be pointy things there which just go straight in. Right, I'm going to do the other four and then I'll carry it out. Right, let's get the second half on the top. We've already got our four joining bits, so we're going to line up. Once you've got it in place, hold the tension, grab your mallet, and let's do a slightly closer version. So same as before, making sure this odd one is at the bottom. We're going to line it up first, hold it upwards first. Let's get that little clicking noise. Start to push down and make sure it's all, see, that's just popped out, which is rather annoying. Click in, keep the tension if you can, and once you've got the tension, grab that mallet, smash it in. Once you've got all four posts in, we just proceed like we did on the bottom half to put the extra shelves in place. So let's crack on with that. And just one quick note, on the top one, you do actually need to put that top shelf right on the very top rung. Right, looking good. Let's go and get the boards. Right, we've got this first board. Remember I said to leave those two middle braces out of the way. This is why. That means you can easily pull it down, get it aligned up, drop it in place. Just make sure it's all in. Now we do the middle bracket there. That's the difficult shelf done. Now I'll just quickly put the other ones in. Should be straightforward. So there we have it. That is the shelf complete. 5 shelves all boarded up, nice and strong, and I'm pretty happy with that. And that's actually 3 of the 4 units that I've purchased, built. So I've only got 1 more to go before I need to start bringing everything back in. I highly recommend these, and I really wish I had installed these when I first moved in rather than waiting now, because it would have saved me a lot of time and energy. And talking of moving in, seems my new neighbours, they they took off their shoes on the doorstep before entering the house, and they lit some incense and performed some ritual on the doorstep before entering in. So very interesting to see. I can tell you that that's not how I entered the new house. I think I busted in. Logan was about 1 month old, and it was a crazy old day. When I say crazy, I mean absolutely horrendous. So I don't advise moving in with a newborn. So they've done it right, moving in beforehand. Anyway, that's enough about me. It looks like I've got a second neighbour moving in as well today as well. Was it something I said? Who knows? Leave a note in the comment and let me know how you got on. Do you think these shelves are good? Do you plan to buy some? Or are you going to do it the old-fashioned DIY, grab some wood, chop the wood, attach the wood, and see how much things you can fit on it before it all falls apart? Because that's what would have happened to me. Anyway, that's it. And oh yeah, this was the garage door. Highly recommend watching my video about that, because it saves me having to walk all the way around the house out the front every time I need to enter the garage. So definitely a lifesaver and a time saver. And on that note, have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video. Haven't done one like this in a while, so peace.